The vacuum of sovereign silence, subtextual priming, frames sovereignty. Stay until the final principle. It is the difference between being the architect and being the brick. 1. The information asymmetry gap, the fox's veil. Your biggest mistake is being a book. You want to be understood. You want to be seen. In the world of power, being seen is being targeted. Information is the ammunition of social warfare. When you share your plans, your fears, or your history, you are handing your enemy the schematics to your fortress. Mind-implicit mastery requires information asymmetry. You must know everything about them while they know nothing certain about you. Think like a fox. The fox doesn't growl, it doesn't warn, it simply isn't where the hounds are looking. Use strategic ambiguity. When asked a direct question about your intentions, never answer clearly. Offer a kaleidoscope of possibilities. Machiavelli stated, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." The tactics. Stop explaining your why. "Because I chose to" is a full sentence. Feed them true lies. Give them unimportant truths to satisfy their hunger for information. Monitor your leakage. Watch your hands, watch your eyes. Every twitch is a data point for a predator. Count to 3 before you speak. Watch how they fill the silence with their own secrets. They are terrified of what you aren't saying. But having a veil is useless if you don't have the teeth to back it up. That brings us to the shadow. You have spent your life suppressing your dark side. You call it being civilized. Psychologists call it repression. I call it disarming yourself. To be a dangerous weapon, you must integrate your shadow. You must accept the part of you that is capable of cruelty, manipulation, and cold calculation. A man who is incapable of being a monster is not peaceful. He is harmless. There is a massive difference. The mind-implicit practitioner carries his monster on a short leash. You don't use it to bully. You use it to radiate a predatory subtext. When you enter a room, people should feel a faint subconscious alarm. They should sense that you are choosing to be polite, not that you are forced to be. Machiavelli taught it is much safer to be feared than loved if one of the two must be lacking. The tactics. Stop smiling to make others comfortable. Use the Duchenne smile only when earned. Maintain unblinking eye contact 2 seconds longer than is polite. Practice low-volume authority. Speak quieter, not louder. Force them to lean into your space. Ask yourself, if you had to ruin the person in front of you, do you know how? If the answer is no, you are a sheep. Integration starts now. You suffer from the nice guy pathogen. You do favors you don't want to do, expecting a reward that never comes. This is a covert contract. It is a form of manipulation that only hurts the manipulator. When you act based on what you hope others will do, you give them the remote control to your emotions. You are telegraphing, "I am for sale." Mind-implicit power requires the immediate rupture of all covert contracts. You must move to explicit exchange or strategic altruism. Stop being nice to avoid conflict. Conflict is the forge of respect. Machiavelli noted, "Men shrink less from offending one who is loved than one who is feared." The tactics. Identify your covert contracts today. Write them down, then break them. Say no without an excuse. An excuse is a plea for forgiveness. Practice high-status indifference. If someone doesn't meet your standard, withdraw your attention entirely. If you feel guilty for setting a boundary, that is your slave programming talking. Cut the wire. Now that you've killed the victim, it's time to weaponize their own mind against them. The human brain hates inconsistency. We call this cognitive dissonance. When you act in a way that contradicts someone's perception of you, their brain enters a state of high alert friction. A dangerous weapon uses this to create internal chaos in their opposition. Be the cold charismatic, be the gentle threat. By projecting conflicting mind-implicit signals, you force the other person to spend all their mental energy trying to solve you. While they are busy trying to figure out if you are a friend or a foe, you are already 5 steps ahead. You are the ghost in their machine. Machiavelli said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." The tactics. Use hot and cold reinforcement. Be intensely present, then suddenly distant. Violate their social expectations. If they expect you to be intimidated, act amused. Compliment their strengths while casually dismissing their status. Watch their eyes. See the flicker of confusion? That is the sound of their fortress walls cracking.
Silence is the ultimate weapon of the mind-implicit. Most people are terrified of it. They feel the social vacuum and rush to fill it with nervous chatter. The person who speaks less holds the higher ground. Why? Because they are the evaluator. The person speaking is the performer. The performer is always lower status than the judge. When you use sovereign silence, you are making a claim of absolute dominance. You are saying, "My internal world is so stable, I don't need your noise." Machiavelli wrote, "A wise prince should follow a third course and choose the wise men of his state and allow only them the liberty of speaking the truth to him." The tactics. The 3-second rule. After someone finishes speaking, count to 3 before responding. Never finish someone else's sentence. Let them struggle with their own words. When someone asks a challenging question, stare at them in silence until they blink. Do you feel the urge to speak right now? Kill it. Control the silence. Control the room. Direct commands are for amateurs. They trigger resistance. Mind-implicit mastery uses subtextual priming. You plant ideas in the substrate of the conversation. If you want someone to feel insecure, don't insult them. Talk about the unfortunate decline of people in their position. If you want them to trust you, tell a story about someone else's betrayal and how much you value loyalty. You are training their subconscious like a dog, but they think they are the ones holding the leash. This is information asymmetry in action. Machiavelli knew the vulgar are always taken by what a thing seems to be and by what comes of it. The tactics. Use we and us to create an artificial bond before you exploit it. Anchor emotions to physical objects. Touch the table when you say something negative. Touch your chest when you say something positive. Use negative priming. I'm not saying you should trust me more than your boss, but you are weaving a web. They will call it chemistry. You will call it calibration. Now we enter the final fortress, the core of the weapon. The frame is the invisible set of assumptions that govern an interaction. Whoever's frame is stronger wins. Most people walk into other people's frames. They play by the other person's rules. They answer the other person's questions. This is social suicide. Mind-implicit frame sovereignty means you never answer a question that puts you on the defensive. You reframe, you ignore, you subvert. You are the architect. You decide what the room is for. You decide what is important. Machiavelli's ultimate truth: whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. The tactics. Never explain yourself. Explanation is a submissive act. Use the pivot. If someone attacks you, don't defend. Ask, why is this so important to you right now? Be the prize. Act as if you are the one evaluating their worth, regardless of the hierarchy. Ask yourself, Are you the one asking the questions or the one answering them? Synthesis, the transformation. Listen closely. You arrived here as a victim of the explicit lie. You believed that being a good person would protect you. Now you know the truth. You are a biological machine operating in a world of predators. By mastering the mind-plicit, you have transformed from the prey into the weapon. You no longer walk in fear because you are the fear. You are the silence in the room. You are the shadow in the conversation. You are the architect of your own sovereignty. But knowledge without action is just a slower way to fail. If you don't apply these principles today, your brain will revert to its slave programming. You will go back to being the nice guy. You will go back to being the predictable tool. Is that what you want? To be a footnote in someone else's success story? Machiavelli's ghost is watching you. The hyenas are waiting for you to blink. Your mission. In the next 24 hours, use Principle 5. Hold a silence for 5 seconds longer than you want to. Watch the explicit people squirm. Feel the power of the vacuum. If you are ready to stop being the brick and start being the architect, subscribe to this channel. We do not offer comfort, we offer the steel of the mind. Comment below with the words, "I am the architect." Write it, own it, or stay a brick. The choice is mind-plicit.